so mad after we record this because I don't know why, but I've been putting off recording this. Like, week goes by, another week goes by, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this thing. But, life gets so busy sometimes, but let's get into it. So, the first movie I watched was The Blackening, and it opened with Yvonne Orji from, what is it? Oh my gosh, from Insecure. From Insecure. And her boyfriend, and they found this, like, racist board game called The Blackening, and then it starts talking to them, and then I'm thinking to myself, why are they even playing with this thing? And I'm also thinking, like, because in horror movies, usually the thing is, like, older horror movies, I guess, the black people die first. And so this is supposed to be like a comedy, so I'm kind of thinking they're probably gonna die. As sad as it is to say, because it's a horror movie and it's supposed to be a comedy, and it's kind of like playing off of the stereotypes that black people put on each other, or people outside of our culture put onto us, or kind of like those little micro weird little things that happen, like black people dying first in a horror movie. So I was confused because they didn't really introduce the characters. But then I guess that was like kind of like a prequel. It was kind of like a preview of the rest of the movie, because then they do go on to go over the characters and we get to meet the rest of the characters. So the whole thing isn't about Yvonne Orji and her boyfriend. It's about their friends. Everybody is in this friend group, and it's about all of them. And there are a lot of really, really cool people in it. Like Anika from Empire was in it, Boo Boo Kitty. She was cool. And yeah, I'd say I described this movie, The Blackening, was kind of like campy creepy. It was like campy creepy. Because there were some moments I was like, it's a little creepy, but then they brought back the humor and the comedy of it all. So that was cool. Yeah. And there was some things that the game would ask that was kind of like, you know how some people try to push a narrative that, like, not all black people are black. Like, if you don't act a certain way, talk a certain way, listen to certain things, do certain things, you're not black. It's a really messed up thing, but this movie really touches on that a lot. I thought it was interesting because it is a comedy, but it does touch on that whole "you're not black" thing that we do to, well, I don't, but that some people do to other people in the community. So what else? I'm looking at my notes. Okay, yeah, so there was this one thing. It was the game asked who the characters of Friends are, or something like that. They asked something about Friends. I'm not quite sure. I think it was how many black people were on the show Friends, appeared in the show Friends, which couldn't have been a lot. But anyway, so it was talking about, so they were trying to figure it out, because they're like, oh, this person guest starred, and this person guest starred, and this person guest starred. And the game was like, and they got everything correct. And the game was like, wrong answer. We don't watch Friends. We watch Living Single. And I was like, oh, well dang. So then they got the person after them again. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I guess I've never watched Friends. Should I watch Friends? What do you think about that? I've never seen Friends. I've seen Living Single. I've seen Living Single. I've seen Girlfriends. What else is there? I guess newer, more modern is Insecure. Is that all? Girlfriends? I'm trying to think of that time. I guess A Different World would be a part of that list. But it's not like I feel like Friends and Living Single are more similar to each other. We are living single. Okay, moving on. So there were a bunch of Black stereotypes portrayed um, in the characters of this movie. So we had like an Urkel character who everyone, as I said before, feels like isn't Black enough. We had like the funny character. We had a character who's half white and deeply in touch with her Black ancestry and culture. We had like someone who's half African American and half African. And then it's just like a plethora of people and their stereotypes. Just and you know, it fit with the whole creepy, campy, parody movie vibe thing. So yeah, it just played on stereotypes in a creepy, campy way. Yeah. So it's like a murder mystery, and I feel like it must be a parody of something that I don't remember. I don't watch a lot of horror movies, so I'm sure there is another movie like The Blackening. So maybe you can help me figure it out. So basically, they rent a cabin. I'm sure I've heard this trope before, but anyway, a group of friends rent a cabin. They find a game. They play the game. People start coming after them, and they start getting killed. That has to be another movie. It's like, oh my gosh, that is so loud. And what even time it is? It's here I go. What even time it is? What time? Whatever. I said what I said. It's 10 in the morning and they've already started. I don't know what they're doing. They're putting up like power lines or something. But anyway, so yeah, they talk about like revoking Black cards, and I don't know. It's just like a comedic, creepy horror movie with like a sprinkle of you can't mess with everybody. I'm not gonna tell you why you can't mess with everybody, but we've seen that trope in other movies, other shows, you know. In real life, like you can't mess with everybody. Like you have to really be careful who you say certain things to. Like I feel like it's normal to kind of like joke around with friends and everything. But if you don't know the person and you're over here telling them, oh, you're not this enough or you're not that enough, like you can just be saying random stuff to random people, because that gets into bullying. I feel like there's a bunch of lines as to like joke it around. There's like a bunch of lines that you shouldn't really cross. And I feel like sometimes people cross those lines and it ends up being really harmful. But it just depends on who it is. It depends on your relationship with the person. But I just think that, and I'm not defending the antagonist at all. I'm just saying, like, you can't keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing people. You shouldn't. If you're a good person, you're not gonna, if something is visibly hurting someone, and you continue to go on and on and on and on and on, knowing that you're saying harmful things to them, then I don't think it should be as big of a shock if they snap. Once again, I'm not saying that the antagonist in this movie was correct. I'm just saying, like, real life situations, everyday situations. And there's different ways that a person could snap. Like a person can snap within themselves. A person can snap outwards of themselves. Like, because they're constantly dealing with mental triggers and you pushing and pushing and pushing them. Like, just stop. Just like give it a rest. Give people a break sometimes, you know? Like, I get it. I get the whole like joking culture, we're all just having fun, this and that. But like, it can get serious. It can get serious if you're a super. I feel like if sometimes people are too insensitive. Sometimes people are too insensitive and a little too mean, and it can be a little too rough. And it can be all joking, or you can mess with the wrong people and they will react. So yeah, I feel like that was a lesson of the Blackening. I liked it. I liked the movie overall. I just felt that it was relatable. It was relatable. Because I've had that said to me, like, oh, you're not black enough and whatever. Or I've been compared to like other people, you know, like, just stop. Because it gets to a point. Just don't do that to people. Yeah, but not defending his reaction at all. Not defending his reaction. I'm just saying that I like that they told that story, because that is a very common thing that happens within our community. Though you're not this enough, that enough, true. So, moving on. All right, the second movie I watched was Ganja and Hess. Ganja and Hess was amazing. I loved Ganja and Hess. It was this like extremely well done black vampire movie. And I'm like a vampire movie connoisseur, you know, Sinners, Originals, Vampire Diaries, but you know, Originals over Vampire Diaries any day. But Twilight, obviously Twilight. But this was just like beautiful. I loved this movie. I will always recommend this movie, I think. Like, I used to say that my favorite movie was, you know, Love Jones and Harry Met Sally. And I think those are like comfort movies. I watch those movies multiple times a year. But Ganja and Hess, that might have to be in my like comfort movie rotation. I loved Ganja and Hess. I loved it. Like, it opened up with like the Negro spiritual, I Know It Was the Blood, and that was paired with these like Roman Catholic statues. And then in storytelling, I feel like that was also like, it reminded me very black in a way, like, this is a song that tells a story that's full of like soul and like sorrow, emotion, expression, very beautiful. And the song kind of told the story of like how the vampires became cursed and what would defeat the curse. And it says the only way to defeat the curse is through, I think, like Christianity. But at the time of the curse, when it started, Christianity wasn't a thing yet. So, yeah. But it was like, I guess like in this story, in this version of the beginning of vampirism, it was like slaves aren't able to die after being pierced by like a cursed blade, and they have to like live forever in pain. So you have to kind of pay attention to every part of this movie, because the songs have symbolism. We get visuals that are more silent and just musical. You have to pay attention. I have to watch it again because I know that there are things that I missed. It was a really good movie. And then the banter between Ganja and Hess was so cute to me. I feel like Ganja's like orange cat. You know how they say like black cat, golden retriever? No, Ganja's like an orange cat. She's just like so goofy and funny, and she likes to play around, and just like she just does this playful, cute banter that I loved. And then Hess is kind of like Doberman boyfriend, you know? So it's like orange cat, girlfriend, Doberman boyfriend. It was really cute. And what else? I was just like smiling. I was smiling at the screen. I was like, this is adorable. I just loved it. She's so playful. And yeah, I just really think that you should watch this. It's a lot of like complex, moral gray characterism and a lot of passion, of course. Vampires. Really good movie. You need to watch Ganja Hess. Okay, done.